Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for Monday, April 10th. And we got ourselves a 10-game slate here to kick off the week, where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. And then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals. Got one of these games coming in with an implied total of 7 goals between the Maple Leafs and Panthers. 5 games coming in at 6.5. 2 games at 6 goals even, and 2 games at 5.5. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And then here's a schedule update for this week. Last week of the NHL regular season. Gonna have a video coming out for you guys Monday through Thursday, but we'll not have anything out for Friday as we have just 2 NHL games, which likely have no impact on this year's playoffs, and likely gonna see some players rested for the Colorado Avalanche. I will, however, be creating content for this year's NHL playoffs, so make sure you stay tuned for that. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, being that it is the last week of the regular season, we're likely going to see some odd games. We got some teams that are locked into a playoff spot, might rest some guys. Got some teams who are still fighting for a playoff spot, like the Florida Panthers, Penguins, and New York Islanders. And then you got teams who have nothing to play for outside of bonuses and future contracts. So it's really an interesting week of hockey here. But one line that I do like here tonight is that first line for the New York Rangers. We got Zibanejad centering Kreider and Kane. For starters, a little surprised at how affordable these three are, considering the matchup at home against the Buffalo Sabres, and being that all three of these guys are currently playing on the Rangers' #1 power play. Good matchup at home here against Buffalo, a team that's allowed 3.64 goals per game this year, 7th most in the NHL, while having the league's 4th worst penalty kill, just hitting at a 73% rate. We got 3 talented forwards here who should log decent minutes tonight, and again, all get time on the #1 power play, so it's strongly correlated. And then another line stack that I like here tonight is that first line for the Seattle Kraken. We got Beniers centering McCann and Eberle. McCann's been on fire really over the past month, and both Beniers and Eberle have played solid as of late too, but the matchup here tonight against the Arizona Coyotes is really what I'm targeting. The Coyotes have been a team that we've picked on all year long, and they've really struggled here as of late, having allowed 5.60 goals per game in their last 5 games, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 74% rate. And if the Kraken win here tonight, they'll actually slide into that #3 spot in the Pacific, so they're technically still playing for something too. Now, that does come with a little bit of an asterisk, being that the Kings are playing here tonight as well. If they win, they'll remain in that #3 spot in the Pacific, but the Kraken do have a game in hand over LA, as well as more regulation wins. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Don't forget, I am running that Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We got a great group of people in there talking hockey and posting their prize picks as well. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. First guy I got there is Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are in an interesting spot. They really don't have anything else to play for here during the regular season. They're pretty much locked into the #2 seed in the Atlantic. However, based off of practice yesterday, it looks like most, if not all, of their starters should be in the lineup here tonight against the Florida Panthers, which has the highest implied game total of 7 goals tonight. And Marner is just 2 points away from hitting 100 points on the season, which would be a career high. I know at this time of year the importance is playoffs and winning a Stanley Cup, but these guys definitely want to get to those individual marks as well. Matthews said the other day that he hopes he gets there, playing on that first line with Matthews right now, playing up on the #1 power play. Florida's had a very mediocre penalty kill all year long and still lead the league in penalties this year, and Marner's been playing good hockey here as of late with 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points in his last 10 games. Now, one team who is definitely legitimately still playing for something right now is the Winnipeg Jets, trying to clinch a playoff spot for this year. And Pierre-Luc Dubois playing up on the first line with Connor and Scheifele is still very attractive, especially in a matchup like this against the San Jose Sharks, who have been very bad really ever since the All-Star break. And I'm just looking back to March 1st here. They've gone 4-10-4 in their last 18 games while allowing 4.5 goals per game. Dubois hasn't put up massive numbers as of late, just 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points in his past 10 games, but I do like the way that he's been shooting the puck. There should be some positive regression coming his way, especially on that first line and number 1 power play in a matchup like this. I then got Victor Arvidsson there of the Los Angeles Kings, who aren't necessarily in desperation mode right now. They're locked into the playoffs. They're not going to get the number 2 seed in the Pacific. They could, however, fall off into a wild card spot. I don't know if that's the end of the world because more than likely they're going to play someone in the Pacific either way. Arvidsson's been playing really good hockey here though as of late, like this price tag of $5,900, getting time on that second line in number 1 power play, and I really don't mind targeting this power play for the Kings in general, being that they're playing the Vancouver Canucks here tonight, who have had the league's worst penalty kill all year long, just hitting at a 71% rate. And like I said, Arvidsson's put up some really good numbers here as of late with 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points. 6 of those points coming on the power play, and I like the way he's shooting the puck too. Another team who is absolutely still playing for something right now is the Florida Panthers. They're in a wild card spot, but they got the Islanders and Penguins that they're battling with right now. Should come down to the final game of the regular season for them. You know, Sam Reinhart, I struggle to roster him from time to time, being that he plays on the third line. He's not up in the second line with Tkachuk, not up on the first line with Barkov, but he does, however, play on the number 1 power play, and I was looking at his numbers and just going, hey, how do I not talk about this guy with 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points here in his last 10 games? Looks like he's got points in 7 of his last 10. Would like him to shoot the puck a little bit more, but he does have 6 points on the power play as well. Playing the Toronto Maple Leafs here tonight, maybe not the easiest of matchups, but again, those numbers definitely stuck out to me. And then I'm going to wrap it up there with Dylan Strome, who doesn't have anything to play for right now outside of having a career year up on that first line and number 1 power play. They do have a tougher matchup here tonight against the New York Islanders. It's projecting to be a relatively low-scoring game, but another player that really stuck out to me based off of their price and their production as of late, you can see here in his last 10 games, Strome's put up 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. Not bad at all for a guy priced in the 4K range. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, simple with these 4 guys here tonight, trying to stack them up with forwards on the number 1 power play. Got Adam Fox, talked about that first line for the Rangers earlier. Good matchup at home tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. Morgan Riley, talked about that matchup as well against the Florida Panthers. He gets time on the number 1 power play against a team that takes the most minor penalties in the NHL. Drew Doughty playing the Vancouver Canucks, who have the league's worst penalty kill, and then John Klingberg has a great matchup too on the road tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks, who are legitimately one of the worst teams in the NHL, and again, going for that Connor Bedard ticket. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you, higher priced and lower priced option. First, Igor Shesterkin of the New York Rangers is playing lights out hockey right now. Really kind of scary for teams in the East because they're obviously loaded with talent, both at the forward position and blue line, but Shesterkin was a little bit up and down throughout the year. You were never really concerned about him, but he wasn't playing like the Vezina goaltender we saw last season. But as of late, he truly has been playing that well. He's 8-0-2 here in his last 10 games with a goals allowed average of 1.81, save percentage of .941, just absolutely ridiculous numbers there, averaging about 20 DraftKings points per game. And then UC Swaros of the Nashville Predators. The Preds are still technically fighting for a playoff spot right now. Odds are they don't make it, but they're not eliminated either, and they're playing the Flames here tonight. It's a very important game for both of these teams, and UC Swaros loves to play spoiler, and he's got one of the best ceilings when it comes to DFS at his position. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is Marcus Johansson of the Minnesota Wild, currently playing on that second line in number 1 power play. He's racked up 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points here in his last 10 games, and a really solid opportunity play against Chicago tonight. On the other side of that game, Andreas Anthony is playing some really solid hockey for Chicago right now, up on the first line in number 1 power play. In his last 5 games, he's put up 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points, and 17 shots on net, which has led to 14 plus DraftKings points in 4 of his last 5 games. Not bad at all for a guy priced here at $3,500. And then Casey Middlestead of the Buffalo Sabres. Tough matchup tonight for sure on the road against the New York Rangers. Again, talked about how well Shesterkin's playing right now. But Middlestead's made the most of playing up on that first line in number 2 power play as of late, with 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points in his last 10 games. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Surprised to just have the shots on goal and hit props available as I record this morning, especially considering the Masters are done now, but I'm going to do my same strategy like I've done all year long. No sense in changing that during the last week of the regular season. I'll wait for all of these picks to come out, do my research, and then let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video. Don't forget, I post all of my picks in my Discord channel too. We got a lot of other people who post their picks, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, if you have not signed up for Prize Picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, maybe you don't want to bet here during the last week of the regular season, but want to get involved for the NHL playoffs, I have a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you don't have to put $100 in either. If you want to put in $50, they'll match $50. You want to put in $20, they will match that $20. And again, they'll match anything up to $100 as long as you use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 10-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.